Candace Owens is scaring the living out of everyone. The globalist elites, radical left, phony conservatives, statists, you name it. They don't know what to do with her. She won't listen to them. She won't bow and scrape and take orders. She poses an existential threat, not just to regular folks, but to the power structure as we know it. Let me tell you why. But first, this critical message.
When disaster hits, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on what you already prepared. Wildfires, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, blackouts, EMP and grid attacks, riots, disaster. Get it? And when the warning comes, there's no time to search for flashlights or bottled water or first aid supplies while your family waits at the door. That's why My Patriot Supply created the fully stocked bug out bag. You've got to get this. It's a rugged grab-and-go tactical backpack packed with 60 emergency essentials, including food, water, shelter, fire, starting tools, lighting, first aid, and more. Everything is already packed and ready right out of the box. Keep one in your car, your home, your RV, your office, your cabin, because emergencies never make appointments. And right now, you can get $100 off plus free shipping for a limited time. So act now. There will be no special invitation in life. Disaster always comes unannounced. Get prepared now. Go to preparewithlionel.com. That's preparewithlionel.com and click the link today.
There is something happening right now in American politics that I haven't seen in, well, maybe ever, but that the establishment cannot control, cannot predict, and most importantly, can't stop. And it is fascinating. No, it is delicious. And her name is Candace Owens. Let me explain. Let me try to describe something carefully because the media still don't understand what is happening. And I'll see if I can explain this again. Candace Owens is no longer just a conservative commentator. She is becoming and is something much bigger and far more dangerous to the political machine itself. She is becoming ideologically independent, and Washington cannot tolerate independence and independent people. Notice what happens every single time she travels or speaks freely or questions approved narratives. Suddenly, the entire system mobilizes against her. The radical left attacks her, corporate media attack her, establishment Republicans attack her, neoconservatives, especially attack her, foreign policy gatekeepers attack her, especially when she brings up that pesky America First business. Intel community groupies attack her, the online hall monitors attack her, everybody suddenly develops the exact same talking points at precisely the same time. Isn't that fascinating? And that is not organic by any stretch of the imagination. That is coordinated panic. Why? Good question, Sparky. Good question. I'll tell you. Because Candace Owens represents the one thing the political class fears more than anything else. Somebody with a massive audience who no longer needs their approval, who doesn't genuflect, who doesn't ask for permission. And watch what they're doing. They're trying to frame travel itself as suspicious. Now think about how insane this is. Americans are now told, listen to this, Americans are now told that if you travel somewhere, the foreign policy establishment, if they don't like it or if they dislike it, suddenly you're a potential foreign agent. Suddenly you are compromised. Suddenly, you're accused of spreading, here we go, you haven't heard this in a while, disinformation. Suddenly, they demand investigations. Why is she going? Maybe a loyalty test. Maybe some kind of registration requirement. FARA this and espionage that and subversive this and foreign influence and dangerous rhetoric, un-American activities. Where have we heard that, Mr. McCarthy? Where? Does any of this sound familiar to you? Does anyone sound vaguely reminiscent of one of the past? Of course it does. Of course it does. And the reason why is because the establishment only believes in freedom when approved people say approved things approvingly. Now, let me ask a very simple question. I think it's a very simple question. Where was this outrage? Where was this outrage when Sean Penn flew to Ukraine for his carefully choreographed Zelensky photo op? Remember that with the Oscar? Remember that? Where were the demands for Sean Penn to register as a foreign agent? You remember that? Anybody recall that? I don't remember that. Do you? No. Huh. Where were the hysterical cable news panels accusing him of spreading propaganda? I don't remember that. Because in this particular case, the propaganda was for something that they liked. The war profiteers. It was obviously to promote Zelensky. Notice they still aren't a member of NATO, but that's another story. Where were the think tank lectures about foreign influence operations? Where? They didn't exist. They just weren't there. And what about Ben Stiller? That's a great question. What about Ben Stiller? And who the hell is Ben Stiller? He walks into Ukraine, same thing. Imagine the look on Zelensky's face with, what the hell's that? Ben Stiller, who? Who? Anyway, he meets with Volodymyr Zelensky, praises the wartime narrative, repeats the script as he was told, and suddenly he's treated like Winston Churchill with a Netflix account. It doesn't make any sense. Who the hell is Ben Stiller? Nothing. Nobody accused him of undermining America. It is. I know Ben Stiller, but still, nobody questioned his patriotism. Nobody suggested he was some kind of a person compromised or a sellout, or maybe, who knows, because the rules only apply in one direction. What I'm telling you is not earth-shattering, but it's true. Now let's go even further back. Jane Fonda, literally, and I use the term correctly and not like 17-year-old girls do today, but she literally traveled to North Vietnam during an actual war where actual Americans were actually dying, being captured and tortured in POWs. She posed for photographs with enemy forces. American POWs were still suffering in captivity. There was talk about how they were trying to pass her notes. Please help us. She had nothing to do with it. And what happened? What? Remember this, kids? Eventually, the left transformed her. It was an apotheosis into cultural royalty. Oh, my God. Hollywood embraced her. It still does. In fact, Karen Bass Ackwards, as Kelsey Grammer calls her, is looking for her endorsement. And the media rehabilitated her. She became a feminist, leftist, whatever icon. So spare me the lectures about Candace Owens traveling abroad or asking questions, right? Stop it. You got the wrong guy here, okay? The hypocrisy is manifest. It's staggering. And we've had it because they're petrified. See, the reality is that Candace Owens is frightening people because she refuses ideological containment. She is willing to criticize the left, the right, corporate media, neoconservative foreign policy, orthodoxy, and the increasingly authoritarian tendency of governments to police and monitor speech and opinion. That's why she's so dangerous. And that's why we love her. And that's what terrifies people. And it's wonderful, especially interesting, the conservative establishment who doesn't know what the hell to do with her. I mean, they don't know what the hell, because many establishment Republicans, and this is critical, many of them right now secretly depend on the exact same machinery that they pretend to oppose. I mean, they need permanent outrage. They need endless partisan warfare. They need voters emotionally trapped inside some kind of a binary system, some left-right paradigm where every election becomes the most important election of our lifetime, which of course is not true. Candace Owens is beginning, my friend, to move outside that framework entirely. And I want you to take and make particular note of this. And so is Tucker Carlson. That's the bigger story nobody really wants to discuss. Oh, Tucker Carlson. So look carefully at what Tucker has become since leaving Fox. What a story. What a story. No longer constrained by corporate media gatekeepers or pharmaceutical advertisers or defense contractor sensitivities or network approved narratives. Nay. He now operates independently, and his audience is beyond global, and he is, like Candace, loved. Oh, and that changes everything. That changes everything. You see, the same is happening right now with Candace. Isn't it funny how this works? How it's all kind of interconnected? Both of them increasingly speak to Americans who feel, I guess the best way to put it is, who feel politically homeless. Millions of people no longer identify neatly as Republican or Democrat. I call myself a political atheist. I don't really believe. They're exhausted by forever war, censorship, economic instability, cultural insanity, and establishment corruption on both sides or all sides. See, these are people who feel abandoned by the system itself. And I know who you are, and I agree with you. I'm the same way. And suddenly, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are speaking directly to them. Not through party structures, not through organized, the lattice work of approved platforming, not through consultants and the usual muck and mire. No. Not, and certainly not through donors, but directly. That is revolutionary. Speaking directly to their constituency, unfiltered, uncontaminated. And that is why the attacks will intensify. And mark my words, oh my God, they're going to criticize Candace Owens' travel. They will criticize her clothing, her tone, her hair, her shoes, you name it. They will criticize her family, her husband. They will accuse her of extremism, of instability, crazy narcissism, conspiracy theories, racism, sexism, whatever isms there are. Narcissism, solipsism, disloyalty, foreign sympathies. I mean, they're running out of stuff. And the smears are predictable because the system only has one playbook: destroy credibility. That's it. Isolate dissenters. Make sure you know who they are, and create fear, create fear and intimidate audiences and bring out the same usual suspects. But something different, something very different is happening now. And I think you're seeing this. In fact, I know you are. The public no longer fully trusts corporate media. I know. It's shocking, isn't it? I know. I know. I don't know. They no longer trust Washington experts. They no longer trust intel officials automatically. Hell, they don't even trust late night talk show monologues. They've moved on. They no longer trust the carefully manufactured and manicured consensus that dominated American politics for decades. No! This is a new group of people who know nothing about that, and I love it. That monopoly is over and collapsing in real time, my friend. And figures like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are accelerating the collapse. It's free fall, baby. Now, let me say something else that may sound radical today, but will not sound radical 5 years from now. All right? Maybe. And I'm trying to be anticipatory. I'm trying to be Vatic and Pythonic and really augur the entrails of the beast to augur the future. The traditional left-right divide is dead. It's not. Slowly, it's dead. It's like when you look at a leg that's necrotic before you amputate, you say that the leg's dead. I mean, it looks okay, it's dead. It's like a tree limb that's going to fall. It's dead and is painfully dead and unmistakably dead. And the future political coalitions in America will not be organized the way they were in 94 or 2004 or even 2016. Nay. The new divide is becoming establishment versus anti-establishment. Kind of a 60s flavor to it. I kind of like that. Centralized power versus decentralized voices. Think about that. Power, voices. Permanent bureaucracy versus independent populism. Don't forget, populism is a good thing. It's a very good thing. Global managerial elite versus national sovereignty and individual freedom. Am I catching on? Are you digging this? And in that environment, my dear beloved brothers and sisters, in that environment, somebody like Candace Owens becomes extraordinarily powerful. Powerful because she doesn't fit neatly inside any, approved ideological wheel or container. Nay. Same with Tucker Carlson. Oh, he's good. Oh, he's real good. See, what they're doing is they're creating a political language that reaches disaffected conservatives, independents, libertarians, populists, anti-interventionists, working class voters, and heroes in my mind, and even former Democrats who really feel alienated by the modern progressive movement, whatever that is or whatever they're progressing to or from or toward. That coalition is real, very real, my friend. And the political establishment sees, and this is critical, the political establishment sees it forming. Now, that is why, as I've told you, that is why the panic is so intense. And you're seeing it. I mean, people laugh when terms like Reform Party get mentioned. But honestly, think about it. This is almost like, this is a version of Brexit, like a Farage kind of thing. Think about it for a second. Imagine a coalition built around anti-war populism, economic nationalism, free speech absolutism, border enforcement, skepticism of intel agencies, and an opposition to censorship and rejection of corporate globalism. Think about that. Oh my God, it's just saying it is fun. That movement would shatter the existing political order into smithereens. And deep down, my friend, deep down within the interstitial abecedarian foundation of the establishment knows it. So, which, by the way, is why they cannot permit independent voices to grow unchecked. Like I said, they are panicking like you can't believe. And the attacks on Candace Owens are not really about travel to Russia or any other story. No, they're not about fashion. They're not about any of that. And they're not about personality. What they are about, really and truly and actually and truly, I should say, about control. It's always about control. You see, the political establishment, they have tolerated outspoken conservatives when those conservatives stayed safely inside approved boundaries, kind of within the lane, you know what I mean? But the second someone begins building truly independent influence, I almost said confluence, but influence. Outside institutional control, the knives come out immediately. And that's what we're seeing right now. And yet, my friend, and yet, despite everything in its totality, Candace Owens keeps growing and growing and growing. And why? Why do you say that? It's a very good question. Because people, listen to what I'm saying, because people recognize authenticity when they see it. Now, you may agree with her or disagree with her. That's okay. But she clearly believes what she says. And you can tell that. And in an era of scripted politicians and focus grouped, approved personalities, authenticity itself becomes revolutionary. And God knows we did a revolution. Same with Tucker. Same with Tucker Carlson. Absolutely. Two peas in a pod, my friend. Neither sounds manufactured in the least. No way. Neither sounds afraid anymore. No. And audiences, in particular, audiences are responding in ways that are really critical. They're responding accordingly. The next few years in American politics are going to be, and listen to what I'm saying, are going to be unlike anything we have seen before. Old coalitions are collapsing. Legacy media are dying. Party loyalty is weakening. Independent platforms are replacing corporate gatekeepers. And how do we say this? Right in the middle of that transformation, stand Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. The establishment cannot fully control, which is exactly and precisely why they are so terrified. Does that make any sense to you? I hope it does, because I could not say it any clearer, I don't think. Well, what do you think, dear friend? What do you think? Do me a great favor. I must give you this obligatory message. Please like this video. Please subscribe to our channel. Please, please, please. Just hit 400,000 and we're taking off. It's a while. I know Candace has 6 million, but I'm trying. And please hit that little button so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, I've got some questions for you. I've got some great questions for you in the comment section. Please answer them accordingly. And whatever you do, my friends, comment. Oh, yes, comment as you see fit.